everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of XCW Freetime Interview. Of course, as usual, I'm your host, Fletch, and today we are with Shayne Shaw. And I know what you guys are thinking. Wait, Shayne Shaw doesn't really talk. Well, unless you've seen Halloween Harvest 2023, where he finally had his shining moment where he flipped out on DJ and Jade Tucker and quit the business. And little secret between us, XCW Galaxy, he's still here. We're just in a transition period. But Shayne, it's good to have you on the show. I'm going to ask you some questions. Of course, you're not doing this in character. You're just giving your actual opinions. We're just going to shoot the shit and hang out. Let's get started. All right. Who is your favorite XCW superstar to watch?
It definitely has to be Hunter Houken.
Okay. Why is that?
He's a hell of a talented dude to watch in the ring. A great guy to talk to, behind the scenes, backstage, and all of that. Great sportsmanship dude. Gives me one of the best tips and advice to you in the ring, inside and out.
Which is great, because I mean he's obviously also newer to the XCW roster, so for him to have the knowledge that he has and to pass that knowledge on to you, that's pretty special.
Yeah.
So you haven't had the opportunity to work with a lot of guys, and I know that you've got the opportunity to work with guys like Corey Lee on some dark matches, and Miano Diaz, and then of course in your tag team with Unholy, you've got to work with the likes of Justin Parsley and Rob Slater and some other guys. Who is your favorite XCW superstar that you've had the chance to work with thus far?
Definitely Miano Diaz, for sure. Easy to work with. Great, really talented dude too.
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah. So to this point, of course, you've been in XCW about a year or so. What, in your opinion, has been the best show that you've seen XCW do so far? Any show that really stick out to you?
Definitely Extreme King 2023.
Okay, that's fair. What about Extreme King stood out to you the most?
The Battle Royal, the 30-man. Definitely one of the favorite matches I've been in so far this year.
So, how did you get your start in XCW? How did all of this come together for you to become Shayne Shaw and come to XCW?
Well, I came to one of the shows back in 2017.
And that would have been Cemetery, right?
It was behind Walker.
Okay, yeah.
And then it was by Extreme King 2017.
Okay, yeah.
And I came with James Cerebral, and he brought me with them, and I fell in love with it. And I've always wanted to come back to one of the shows. And I thought about it one day, and I remembered your last name, and I shot you a text about training.
Yeah, and it's crazy to go back and think about Extreme King 2017 and what XCW looked like at the time. Of course, we had like the big things that were going on. Tommy Merriman and Brandon Hobbs were in a heated feud for the XCW title, where Brandon kidnapped Tommy's son. Hazard and Void were in a heated rivalry at the time, where Hazard held Void's mom at gunpoint and did some naughty things to her. And then, of course, around that time, myself and Genocide were in a feud where I was fighting off the royalty, and of course, Genocide and Emily trying to take over XCW. So it's a pretty good time to come around. So, on the flip side of that, what was the worst XCW show that you think you've been to?
Honestly, none of them. All of them been really good shows to come watch. Everybody does a hell of a job to put on a good show with everything. So they've been pretty good shows.
What do you think has been your biggest moment in XCW today?
Probably working in that 5-man scramble hardcore title match.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in there with ACT, Patrick O'Reilly, Miano Diaz. So yeah, you were definitely in good hands with all the guys that were in that match. And I know that's kind of the style that you like working. You like working more of a hardcore style. So far, what do you think is the biggest turning point in your career? Is it now doing this shift where we're changing up your character and you're eventually going to come back to XCW TV? Is it joining forces with DJ? What, in your opinion, has been the biggest turning point for you?
Definitely leaving too early on. But it's good. It's for a good thing at the current moment, so I could come back and be better, possibly, hopefully too.
So what's the worst injury you sustained during your short time here in XCW? Is there a specific thing that's happened that you got hurt from?
I don't think I've had an injury yet so far.
What's the worst injury that you think you've witnessed? You see anybody go down with any injuries in your time here?
Not so far.
Has there ever been a time where you just wanted to, after you got your start, and, obviously you had sort of a rough year, trying to find your footing, trying to find what best suits you. And that happens because even on this very show, we had a conversation with Void, who, when he first started in XCW, he kind of had to find his way. He had to find his footing. We switched up his character multiple times to try to find what best fits him. And we finally got to the point where he's now Julian Void Jacobs, and he's comfortable in doing the things that he's doing. So has there been a time in XCW during this time, of you trying to find your footing, that you ever just wanted to walk away from XCW and just call it a day?
There's been a few times, but I knew that I could do a lot better than what I'm doing when I was working under the mute character, for sure. But yeah, I definitely do need some more training and practice to do. I definitely need to find my right footing and become better.
So obviously you were playing a character who was kind of a stalker. He was very quiet. He's kind of doing some silent bidding for the Unholy Team, and before that, the Cold Hearted Crazies. And for what was executed, for what little bit of story that we got to tell with that character, I feel like it was executed pretty well. But and so some people would say that you had a pretty good gimmick. What, in your opinion, has been the worst gimmick that you've seen come through XCW?
All the gimmicks I've seen look pretty good to me. Everybody does a really great job with their gimmicks and all they persona it. So, in my opinion, everybody does really well with their gimmick and style and how they do everything in the ring.
What about the flip side of that, the best gimmick? Who do you think has the best gimmick that you've seen here?
Definitely Hunter Howkin, especially with him going from with long hair to short hair, with the whole gimmick change going on with him. He's doing a hell of a great job with everything he's doing, inside and out in the ring.
So is there anything that you do to prepare for a match? Like, what do you do before you go out there? Is there any certain thing that you do to get ready for your match?
I usually ask for some advice, a few learning tips I could possibly do. I do a little bit of stretches before I go out there. Try to get a fresh mind before I go out there and do stuff in the ring.
Do you have any pre-match rituals other than the stretching and stuff like that? Is there anything that you anything that you just have to do before you go out there?
I try rethinking everything so I could remember all the spots that we're doing in the ring, so everybody's safe and everybody lands safely too.
Except for the part where you punch us a person in the face.
Yeah.
Have you received any chops, and if so, what's the worst chop you've received?
Definitely from Brady Branson. Most painful.
Was it one of the double-handed ones?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. So, Brady Branson, definitely, I've taken shots from him. No bueno, I don't want any part of that. Something else that, a lot of people don't like hit on them is people's finishing moves. And in your opinion, what is the best finishing move in XCW? Whose finishing move stands out to you most?
Definitely the real one's finisher, tag team finisher.
Yeah, certainly you've probably been on the receiving end of that before.
Yeah.
So obviously you are a wrestling fan. I know that you went to some local shows here and stuff. So obviously you're going to follow wrestling on TV and stuff. Who was your biggest pro wrestling influence for you?
It was definitely, Jeff Hardy was definitely one of them.
It's a common answer. I don't know why. I think he's the shit. But it's a very common answer. A lot of guys, even within our roster, were heavily influenced by Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy's also known for, his TLC matches, his different gimmick matches that he's done over the years. What is your favorite concept match? Ladders, cages, whatever. What's your favorite that really stands out to you?
Definitely the ladder matches, for sure.
Any particular reason why over any other match?
Because like all the high flying stunts and like all the things you get like do off like the ladders.
Well, obviously you talked about liking hardcore style stuff and really enjoying the championship scramble that you did earlier this year. With that being said, what's the hardest weapon shot that you have received?
Most definitely the glass frame I got from Patrick O'Reilly.
Yeah, Patrick loves to play with glass for sure. So obviously we're doing a reset on your character. You're out there training with Leon Lux and Brady Branson and some of the guys that want to further everybody's XCW careers and stuff. So where do you see your career being 6 months from now? Do you see yourself back on XCW television with a new character and a new outlook and being able to perform better than you did previously? Do you see yourself still behind the scenes getting training? Where are you looking at in the next 6 months?
Hopefully being back on TV at XCW. Hopefully wrestling a lot better than what I was when I first started out.
So in your opinion, we've had a lot of fast rising stars. Who in your opinion is the fastest rising star? Who just came up from almost nothing and just immediately became a major star?
Definitely Miano Diaz. But he has seen him progress really well.
Yeah. I feel like, a couple years ago we're looking at him like, hey, with your size and not being able to show his facials, wearing the mask and stuff like that. And then to have him branch out this year and remove the mask and change up his persona, be heel for the first time. He's definitely now shining through more than he ever has in his career. So with that being said, myself and Chris Jones sat down for hours and hours and hours to try to come up with the name for Miano Diaz, and we have the same process for a lot of guys, including the Shayne Shaw name. But who, in your opinion, has the best name in XCW? Who's your favorite ring name?
Definitely Hayden Betts.
Yeah, that was one that came together. He wrestled as Nightmare in XCWA. We'd already had a Nightmare here in XCW. So upon his debut, we're like, hey, we're going to have to switch some things up. Obviously, you can't be coming out using, the same thing. So we went through and I found some, very uncommon used wrestling names. I did the same with yours, Shayne, and the way that it's spelled and stuff like that. So Hayden Vex just kind of stuck. Obviously, Vexed is the lead singer of Bad Wolves and stuff like that. We just took the T off, and then Hayden really just stuck out to us. So I know you probably don't know much of this list, but who do you think maybe from the new crop of talent deserves to be in the Hall of Fame that's not yet?
Definitely Eric Mason.
I mean, right off the bat in his very first night, wins the XCW New Age Championship, and then went on and won a second New Age Championship later in the year, and put away guys like Corey Lee and stuff. It's no easy feat, so I totally get it. So, I know you've only really used 2 songs. The one song that you came out with DJ and Unholy, and then your one creepy ass song that you come out to. So maybe not yours, but is there any theme song that anyone's used that you really just got behind? It got you pumped to go out there and perform?
Drealess is for sure.
Again, I'm not a big fan personally. I just feel like, and it's not because I dislike the song. I just think that, with him being in XCW or FWL in their working relationship for so long, it's kind of ran its course, and I'm glad that it kind of got an overhaul. But I totally understand why a lot of people enjoy it. I did too the first 45 years. So you haven't really had the opportunity to work both babyface and heel. You've pretty much just worked heel in your time in XCW. Is there one or the other that you would prefer to work though?
Most definitely heel.
Heel's a common answer. It's actually easier to perform as a heel than it is a babyface. Is there a certain reason why you prefer it?
I feel like if I worked heel, I feel like my work would be a lot better than as a babyface, because I feel like I would get extremely lost working as a babyface than what I would as a heel.
Were you ever camera shy upon your XW debut?
I definitely was.
Are you still?
A little bit.
A little bit? All right, that makes sense. Did you have any wrestling experience prior to XCW?
No. I did some school wrestling for like 3 or 4 years. That's about it.
Middle school, high school?
Middle school.
You have a good record? Don't lie.
I honestly can't remember.
All right. So you sucked. All right. Were you who were you trained by upon your XCW debut here?
Brady Branson.
Brady's still getting his feet wet on being a trainer here in XCW, and I think he's done a really good job. He's trained with guys like Hunter Halkin and Eric Mason. So definitely a lot of things that worked out. Of course, those guys are just crazy naturally, gifted in what they do too. So obviously in XCW, you came in, you were immediately, a part of the Cold Hearted Crazes, which led to the return of DJ Wolbert, you forming Unholy, and then later Jaden Tucker joining you in Unholy. So you've been pretty much since your, beginning days here in XCW, you've been part of a team. Is there a team or a stable that you've seen here in XCW that really stood out as like your favorite?
Definitely the real ones with Justin Parsons and Rob Slater.
This is a potentially double-edged sword on a question. Is there anyone from XCW that you just personally do not like?
I like everybody in the company.
So no one, huh? No one that you dislike? What was the best storyline in XCW that you've seen thus far?
Leon Lutz and Hunter Halkin.
Any specific reason why that one stands out?
The storytelling they did was fabulous. All the storytelling, all the match flow they were doing, and the story they were putting out there to the galaxy was just amazing.
What's your favorite rivalry that you've seen in XCW thus far? Was it Hunter and Leon, or was there another one that stood out?
It was definitely Leon and Hunter for sure.
The next one I can't really ask you. I guess I kind of can. What's your favorite location, whether that's the YMCA or maybe St. Paul Gym or here at Mainstay Arena? What's been your favorite place to work?
For sure, St. Paul Gym.
What kind of legacy do you think that you're going to leave behind when you leave XCW behind?
I don't know for sure yet because I'm just now getting started with everything, so I gotta figure out what to do with get my feet wet first and just figure everything out from there.
And then, obviously, you seen XCW all those years ago. You've seen other companies that's been here in Shelbyville and stuff. But what kind of legacy do you think XCW, the company, is going to leave behind?
It's gonna be a great legacy. Everybody does a hell of a job with the shows. Each couple of weeks they do fucking great. And everybody does a hell of a job inside and out, setting up.
How has XCW impacted your life personally?
It's impacted my life pretty good. Like, helps me with a lot. I love doing the shows and traveling to doing the shows and all of that.
What's the best thing that's come out of XCW for you personally?
That's a hard question. Like, honestly, creating bonds with everybody, working with most of the roster, hopefully working with the rest of the roster here soon.
Seems like you get along with pretty much everybody but Corey Lee, so I can understand that. It's okay. Corey Lee's hard to get along with. What is your proudest achievement in XCW thus far? Obviously, you're a former tag team champion, so maybe that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my proudest achievements in the company so far.
Where did you come up with the name and the character? And we talked about this a little bit, but your name and character upon your XCW debut.
I kind of was, because I remember me and you were talking about it, and we were talking about Dexter Loomis off of NST.
Yeah.
And wanted something off of him a little bit with the Stalker. Mew doesn't say much.
We had you play Hangman, which actually this year Viewers' Choice Awards, when we were narrowing down some of the nominees and stuff, that was one that stood out to a lot of the guys, the panel that created who and what awards were going to be given and what the categories were going to look like. And that was one that stood out to a lot of them, is you were able to do the Hangman spot with Jesse, and you never had to say a word. And that's pretty impactful when you can be able to cut a promo or to do a segment like that where you're drawing people into your character and your style of character without ever saying a word. And the most controversial question that I could possibly ask you on this very show is, what do you say to those that say that wrestling is fake? Of course, you've been doing it for a year now. You've had the bumps and the bruises, and you've taken the bumps and the light shots and everything else. So what do you say to those that say that wrestling's fake?
It's definitely not fake. It's definitely not. Shit kills you. Like, I've already been busted up and all that. Heavy blast. Doesn't feel great at all. It leaves you, gives you scars. They always gonna remember on your body.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really train to, take a light tube to the face or a picture frame or something like that. So, you don't know until you get in here and try it. You've had this last year to get in that ring and try things out, and it's not easy on the body. It's not an easy thing to put your body through each and every month, and so I wish there were more people out there, more fans that had a better understanding. Okay, maybe the outcomes are predetermined, but you're not going to be able to predetermine taking a bump on a ladder. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps us up for this episode of XCW Freetime Interview. We appreciate you joining us here today. And we're going to sign off here from your host, Fletch. Thank you for joining us. Shayne Shaw here. We will see you next time here on XCW Freetime Interview.